grind hard to get ahead. You trying to go backwards.
Feelings from the past, pray the Lord block it all out.
What's up? It's your boy. Can't you tune this usual shit? Hey man, say man, we are lit through motherfucking teas, man. Turn. Today, it's motherfucking day. Hey man, say man, straight hood and outside shit, man. We about to watch record labels, the biggest scam in hip hop. Hey man, say man. Sometimes if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. Sometimes people in your life is too good to be true. It's too good to be true, man. Sometimes they give you all this money just to scam. You finna get, let's go, let's turn up.
Oh, you're in a 360? I don't know.
No. Copyright disclaimer in the bottom.
If you don't know you're in a 360, you're in a
you
360. It's like one of those.
Okay.
Then tell me what you want from hip-hop.
I'm making music, bro. I'm just having fun. I'm saying
you do a 360, nigga, you ain't making no money, nigga.
What do you want me to say?
I want you to be aware of your business. I want you to know whether you're in a 360 or not. I want you to appreciate the culture that changed your life and took you from college dorm room eating oodles and noodles.
Chill.
You know, my manager saw my record deal and said, this is a record deal. I had to spend my own money auditing my label because millions of dollars are missing, and you can tell when millions of dollars are missing.
Of course.
Don't believe how many rappers they get big money. A lot of them just pay that shit right back.
If somebody owed you $500,000, how would you feel?
Yeah.
Of course you have to spend it.
What if they owed you $1 million? What if they owed you $3 million? No, listen. What if they owed you that, bro?
Right. I understand.
And you showed up for them and you did all these things, right?
Right.
Yep.
And they up billions.
Now more than ever, hip-hop artists have the power to be the masters of their own destiny.
10% of what
Thanks to the internet and social media,
making, bro.
literally anyone with a drive and determination can reach audiences around the world.
You did.
Able to make music with an iPhone or computer, this drastic overhaul in both music distribution and the ability to generate a fan base should have meant, theoretically at least, that record labels should have become extinct. Inspired by the success stories of those who refused to sign to a label and do it independently, some believe that the power of record labels must have been gone. In fact, disruptive ex-major label head Steve Stout believes that it would only take one flagship artist to take a stand in order for the whole thing to fold in on itself like a house of cards.
If Drake right now posts a link on a picture on the gram of his new album, link in bio, the new album out, fully independent, Drake will make $10 million a week for 60 weeks.
Damn.
Drake is about to get the biggest bag in the
Drake making money off of
the music business.
Drake, man. His name is making money.
They don't want that to happen because the day that
give you a shout out, nigga, you making money,
bitch. Business now.
But as empowering as this concept is, the reality is different. Despite the rise in independence and the adoption of new distribution platforms such as Empire and United Masters, 93.3% of hip-hop that made it onto the billboards between the years 2010 and 2018 came from the majors. And in a broader sense, 3 major record labels, Sony, Universal, and Warner, continue to produce 2/3 of all music sold. No matter how many people claim to be going it alone or maintain that they have their own imprint, the majors are signing over 50 artists a month, each one of them feeling, for a moment at least, like the most important person in the world until the walls come tumbling down. And as the countless cautionary tales make it all too clear, these companies don't so much sell dreams as they loan them out. Not to mention when it comes time for them to get what they feel they're owed, the repayments are exceedingly high.
Yep.
Upholding a world in which a famed group such as TLC could have had
you
platinum certified sales and yet still finds themselves so broke that they had to borrow 15 grand for a lawsuit, you'd think that the increased access to information of this kind would give artists pause before signing the dotted line.
Nope.
But from an artist as famed as Meek Mill's claiming that he's never received a dime from MMG, to Big Sean informing the world that he was signing to the 360 deal that came with just a $15,000 advance, the labels have still managed to scheme and plot their way into holding on to the status quo that they've created.
They want to get
As for how they do it,
money and
well,
blow up
there's a series of age-old scams which are employed to keep both major labels and their seemingly hip-hop-friendly subsidiaries in the driver's seat. For starters, we have the whole concept of a record company advance. Often seen as the first substantial bag that an up-and-coming rapper receives, the advance has become the stuff of hip-hop legend. Defined as a sum of money given by the label to the artist for them to live off of while producing an album, which then has to be paid back from sales of that album before any royalties can be claimed. The common perception is that they've awarded the funds to you. From then on, they're at your disposal. Considered to be the budget for your record, it'd be expected that this was yours to do with what you'd like. But in reality, there are ways in which a major will step in and drain your cash reserves, leaving you with little or nothing to show for it by the end of the recording process. Or in the most duplicitous of circumstances, funnel your cash into another artist that's popping at the time. I seen that I was tied to another artist, Waka Flocka Flame said of his time at Warner. Most of my budget money is going to the one that put more money in. They enter. You get hot, we throw the money.
Nigga make all that money just to pay her right back.
During a recent episode of Off the Record podcast, Academics relayed another tale of budget tampering that he'd heard of. This time, he said that the label went out of their way to make the recording experience as expensive as possible for the artists in order to deplete their funds.
These niggas be getting the highest of the highest,
they gave somebody $2 million recording budget. In a $2 million recording budget, they wanted to book
they could spend
$100,000 every day for 6 months straight. The manager for the
to get what they were trying to get out of the shit, bro.
$2 million. Oh, we finna save some money. We about to take about like 60 to 70,000. We gonna build our own studio. They said the label told them,
nigga, because if they wouldn't have got the record, they have the nigga we ain't know about.
Any place that we don't already pre-select, which means you can't take the budget.
But
and
it's not that you gonna pop off. They do sign you, so it's like, damn,
they ended
nigga.
up having to basically settle with. It was a mansion in the Hollywood Hills that had a studio in it that they paid $3,500 a day. Running through that artist budget. The label and the person who owned the crib, they got a relationship. That's almost like money laundering. You're making sure that artist's budget go to the person.
See, these niggas be signing deals,
You're saying they got a big budget, but you won't give them a budget that they could do what they want.
Given the illusion of control by dangling a big yet unobtainable number in front of your face, this tactic also bleeds into the underhanded trend of labels flattering their artists with gifts, which, while appreciated, can act as a distraction from what's really going on in the accounting. From Birdman gifting Wayne Bentley coupes and Rolls Royces in the years prior to Weezy revealing the millions in unpaid earnings that they've withheld from him to Summer Walker, whose original 2017 deal with Interscope gave her a pitiful 15% royalty rate. Being given a G-Wagon by those very same bosses, labels are happy to give you all the trappings of lavishness on their terms. When in reality, they should simply pay artists adequately and allow them to make whatever purchases or financial decisions they choose.
Gotta be a real nigga
But,
and
as
do
we're
it the
learning,
hard way
labels
half the
will
time,
employ
bro.
any tactic they can to
These
keep
niggas be
things
going for the
lopsided,
deal,
even if it means
get the
immorally
clout, and
tying
be
young
broke
men
as
and women
hell.
up in legal knots when they've likely never seen a contract before in their lives. Although there are many ways to do this, one that's become particularly prominent in hip-hop is providing artists with the same legal counsel that advises the labels, thus ensuring that at every turn they'll act in the interests of the massive firm, rather than the young, impressionable creatives. For a contemporary example of this, look no further than Migos' recent high-profile lawsuit against Damian Granderson. Filed in 2020, Migos alleged that Granderson cheated the group out of millions of dollars, accusing him of glaring conflicts of interest, and also accusing him of betraying Migos when he failed to disclose the complete nature of his relationship with Quality Control. DJ Boost, Brian Z. Zizzler, noted that he was the very same man that negotiated their first ill-fated deal with 300 too. In a deep dive into the situation on the Joe Budden podcast, former co-host Rory Farrell, who previously worked for Sony as a marketing manager, cited the situation as a clear-cut example of how when it comes down to it, Migos' family ties with QC or not, the deck is always stacked against the artists.
I don't care if you have the biggest single on earth. To a lawyer, you are not more of a higher priority than a production company or the label that you are signed to.
Damn, because they making billions.
People that you think
if you make a million, they making billions.
Offer you the lawyer to then negotiate with the management company.
They're like basketball,
right there. That's their lawyer.
Yeah.
They
will only have your best interest at heart when it profits
nigga, they make it like
the production company or the label.
3-4 billion,
Far from an isolated incident, this devious tactic of equipping an artist with a company's lawyer was the same practice that led Tyga to have to pay at least 12 to 15 million to get out of his contract with Cash Money. Intent on keeping artists on the back foot, this is an extreme example of the deck that can mount up when you're on a major. But in the words of academics, this is at the core of how labels keep artists ensnared for years on end.
You have leverage with somebody when they're always in debt, when you're financing their career more than they've made. You know what a label does when an artist you have recouped? They offer you more money. Oh, so we gave you $1 million for your first album, and damn, you blew that out of the water. Yo, we'll give you 5 right now. What's up? They're going to drown you in debt. The label's job is to drown you in debt. Royalty payments, the split on it between the artist and the label is different when the artist is in debt than when the artist has recouped.
Barring the financial red tape that the rap artists up there once you're signed, it's important to remember that sometimes the biggest scam that they can ever perpetrate is getting you in the door in the first place. Because in the era of independence, the prestige of a record label is often built on a false narrative which lulls you into thinking that they'll eventually elevate your career. When in reality, they're just segmenting the money that you could have earned. And by the time that they lock you into the dreaded 360, the extent of their control over your earnings can't be undone.
And I've watched them trick people into thinking that after they built their foundation and they have their show and all the exposure is done, that they need them to go to the next level and then have them sell their whole entire behind away. 360, whole 360 degrees of your ass, pause, away.
Nah, for
On
real,
other
nigga, you
occasions,
see
as
rappers coming
explained by
out
No
getting,
Limit icon
getting
Master P,
piped up
they'll
or
exploit the naivety of a
sucking
young artist from
motherfucking
poverty
shit.
by signing you early,
He's out here
withhold your
wildin'.
true value for
For the
decades.
extra cash.
Like, even you look at the guys now, that's probably big right now with social media. I just seen they had NBA YoungBoy. He's the biggest YouTuber, you know, for his
Influence.
music. He did a deal for $2 million for 5 records. So think about that. You got the money up front, but imagine what they get. So we have to teach that to the next generation. Look at the bigger picture.
Hundreds of
Don't just look
millions,
at the
nigga.
now. That $1 million look good right now, but what about 10 years from now?
Make no mistake, there are artists who've managed to make the mainstream system work for them. And in the case of 21 Savage, who owns all of his masters, or SZA, who
Right,
obtained a
from Britain,
70-30
so you know
split
what
in
I'm
her
saying?
favor between
Glass.
herself and Interscope, there are definitely case studies to be inspired by. But for everyone who thinks that they can tame the beast, you have an NLE Choppa who, after initially turning down a $3 million deal and making a big deal out of his distribution with United Masters, took a joint venture with Warner just months later. Now just one album and mixtape into his deal, he's hoping to rush back to independence after seeing Through the Glass. But if any artist has been relentlessly banging the drum for taking label
Nigga, you
deals on
doing-
your terms
nigga,
while
basically
keeping
like
one
you
eye
doing
on
a label,
independence at all
nigga.
times, it's Russ.
That's a-
After
it's
making
a
his
long,
name
man.
off his own back, Russ acknowledged that there are reasons to sign during a feature on the Rory and Mal
Of course, they give you clout and promotion, but damn, niggas worth it.
600 grand. That's because they think you're gonna make $2 million. When you start really seeing the fruits of your labor, and labels are willing to offer you these 6-figure deals, $1 million deals, 7-figure deals, it's because you're worth more than that. I jumped ship with Columbia July 2016 because I wanted radio. Apple Music came out in 2015. Even in 2016, streaming was not what it was. I was still looking around the game like,
It's
all
good
right,
to
well,
go the
I
hard
want to be
way,
a massive
man.
artist. I don't want to
Pause.
be underground. And I'm
You know what
noticing
I'm
well,
saying?
everyone who's massive has a label. So I'm like, oh, I
The
gotta
contract might
level the
sound
playing
nice
field.
to some
It wasn't
niggas.
because
I ain't
needed
judging them
the
niggas.
money, because I was
'Cause
making at
niggas-
that point
and they
100 grand a month.
struggling, they
It
do
wasn't
what
the
they do.
money. It was
They gotta
I need
pay
to
all
level
that
the
money
playing
back
field
at
because
the
I
end of
gotta
the day.
get
Some of them do it,
access
you know what I'm saying?
into
So I ain't
radio
cap- I
and
ain't
certain
really
things that I don't have
tripping over that
access
shit
to.
sometimes.
Now, in
You can pay it back, pay that shit
2021,
back
if I
quick
was
as
an
hell.
up-and-coming artist making 100 grand a month, would I sign?
Flip
No.
your money, not spend all your money,
Independent once again after seeing out his contract, Russ is ready to do it all again, beginning with new EP Chomp 2. And now, he's come back with what he saw as insider information on how to provide funding without ever having to grovel to a major.
Anything you're getting from the label, you can fund it yourself. And honestly, if it's like, well, the label puts up the money to go get radio. Let's say it's 250 grand to like go all the way with it. Well, I don't want to play with my own money. I don't want to play with my own money either. Guess what you can go do? Go get a line of credit. I go get $500,000 from a bank and I use it. I gotta now pay monthly. It's still my money at the end of the day, but it's about time value of money. It's about cash flow. It's about peace of mind, right? And it's about going into your pockets. I'll go into the pockets of the bank. So with Chomp 2, I was like, I could fund this. I have millions of dollars in the bank. I could fund it myself. Why? Yo, bank, give me my line of credit. All right, cool. Here's $500,000. Say less.
Self-assured as he
Black
is
credit
and
and
this
white
being the
credit is two
antidote
different
to
things,
popular
right?
artists
Keep it
ever having to
capping.
tangle with labels, it must be said that this
Real
is an
nigga shit, for
oversimplification that leaves many factors
That's two
out.
different things,
Considering
man.
that studies show
They
that
give-
black-owned
they give
firms
people-
are
white
twice
people
as
credit,
likely
like,
to be
off the
rejected
bat,
for credit
nigga,
than
you
their
know what
white
I'm saying? Black people gotta
counterparts,
work
a
to
model
get
that
credit.
Russ is putting out
It's
there
hard
isn't
getting credit,
necessarily
bruh.
viable for many of those in the very art form that he, as a white person, has integrated with.
I
And
told
beyond
you.
that, it also only applies to those who've already made a fortune, meaning that for many of those who still have hopes of using art to lift
Well, I tell
themselves
you,
out
white,
of hardship,
man, half
going
this
to the
shit,
bank
they-
and getting
they
a
get
cool
that shit
half
away
mil
to
is
the
a
white
pipe
people,
dream.
man.
Although artists such as the late, great Young Dolph have
R.I.P.,
proven that
man.
with enough hustle, you can make millions off your own back with ever taking a bag
Independent, man.
from a label, that takes a level of resolve that is almost inhuman. As frustrating as it is to watch, the reality is that record labels have mastered the art of overriding your better judgment and making it seem as though they're improving your life in one fell swoop. When all you've known in life is poverty, a seemingly life-changing sum of money up front is incredibly hard to turn down. And, immoral or not, labels know that all too well. While it'll take a long time before their influence is truly eradicated, all we can hope for is that their stranglehold
That's
keeps
tough.
loosening through independent success stories to the point that eventually, sometime in the distant future, this scam is laid bare, once and for all.
That's crazy, man. Have your favorite artist. You wouldn't even know about them niggas, bruh. You wouldn't even know about them because they're artists, man. The artist blew, man, not the artist, the label blew them up. But it's like, do you really want all that clout and money right in the chair just to pay them niggas probably double back what you owe them niggas? Then you paying niggas double back. Then you're not even making money. You ain't even on your shit, your label. So you're not even making money. So it's like you just got the clout and the success from right then and chair. You don't even own your shit. You can't go. It's not like you can go on the corner and start singing your shit out and say whoop 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 whoop, yeah, I'm gonna do this, whoop 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 whoop. Then you try to make money off of it. The label company can sue your ass. So it's like, nigga, you taking a chance, nigga, especially if you don't even make the money back that you owe them niggas. Nah, you fuck, nigga. If you don't, nigga, they give you $50 million, nigga, and you don't pay them niggas back the $50 million, nigga. You fuck, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, let's say you make $25 million back, pay them back $25 million. Nigga, you owe them a whole other $25 million. You can't make money off your shit, man. You ain't never making money. You just tired of them niggas forever, bruh. Just making money for free, doing shit for free, bruh. Hey, man, you gotta do it the hard way, success, grind and shit, man. Eventually shit will happen, man. You guys can't blow up right in the chair. And, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you blow up right in the chair, and it don't last, you know what I'm saying? When you do it the harder way, man, it lasts, man. But we gonna turn up in this bitch, man. Hope your nigga had a litty ass day in this bitch, man. Straight hunting outside shit, we out this bitch, man. Deuces, gang.
Hey, Dad, you know, dog, when we link up, dog, this shit be legendary. You know this instrumental, you the engineer on it, so Kodak everywhere.